You don't feel unloved because people don't care. You feel unloved because you've been giving so much. You forgot what it feels like to receive. You're doing everything right, or at least that's what it feels like. You show up. You care deeply. You give your time, your energy, and your attention, sometimes more than you even have. And yet somehow, you still feel unloved. You don't feel fully seen. You don't feel truly valued. It's exhausting, isn't it? That quiet, heavy feeling of giving your absolute best and still ending up empty. But what if the problem isn't that you're not giving enough? What if the real issue is that you've been giving in a way that slowly disconnects you from your own worth? This is the hidden pattern that keeps so many high-value, kind-hearted people trapped in a cycle of loneliness. You think you're building a bridge to someone else's heart, but in reality, you might be digging a hole where your self-respect used to be. We've been conditioned to believe that love is a transaction of sacrifice, that if we just pour enough into others, eventually, the cup will overflow and come back to us. But human psychology works differently, because here's the pattern most people never notice. The more you overgive, the more you unintentionally teach people that your love comes without boundaries. You've created a dynamic where your kindness is a commodity rather than a gift. When you start saying yes, when every fiber of your being wants to say no, you aren't being nice. You're being dishonest with your own soul. You prioritize the comfort of others while slowly abandoning yourself. And over time, this creates an invisible, toxic imbalance. You are pouring everything you have into a vessel that has no bottom, and nothing meaningful is coming back. It isn't because you aren't worthy of that love. It's because you've accidentally trained the people around you to take without ever realizing your value. They've grown accustomed to your overfunctioning, and because you make everything look so easy, they don't think you need anything in return. You've become the reliable background noise in their lives rather than the priority. You should be. At the core of this behavior is something much deeper and more quiet. It's a silent self-worth deficit. This isn't the kind of loud, obvious insecurity that everyone can see. It's subtle. It lives in those tiny, whispering beliefs like, I have to earn my place at the table, or if I just give a little more, they'll finally choose me. This belief system is like an invisible hand at the small of your back, pushing you to do more, be more, and tolerate more. You become more available, more accommodating, and more understanding than anyone should reasonably be, all while hoping that one day your total will finally be enough to purchase the love you crave. But the hard truth we have to face is that love doesn't grow in an environment of self-abandonment. It actually fades there. When you disappear into the needs of others, there is no you left for them to actually love. You become a shadow. And people don't fall in love with shadows. They just walk through them. This cycle is incredibly addictive because every small bit of gratitude you receive feels like a hit of oxygen when you're drowning. But that oxygen is temporary. You shouldn't have to perform to be loved. You shouldn't have to be a helper or a fixer just to feel like you have a right to exist in a relationship. Think about the energy you put into scanning other people's moods, trying to anticipate what they need before they even ask. That is a survival mechanism, not a love language. It's a way to control your environment so you don't feel the sting of rejection. But as long as you are managing their emotions, you aren't experiencing true intimacy. Intimacy requires two whole people, not one person and a mirror. When you overfunction, you take away the other person's opportunity to show up for you. You are essentially doing the work for both of you, and then wondering why the other person is standing still. For many of us, this started long ago. Maybe you were the child who had to be the good one to keep the peace. Maybe you learned that your value was tied to your grades, your chores, or how little trouble you caused. You brought those childhood lessons into your adult relationships, thinking that if you were perfect enough, you would be safe. But being perfect is a lonely place to be. It keeps people at a distance because they feel they can't live up to your standard of giving, or worse, they just get lazy and let you do everything. By giving everything, you've actually created a barrier to real connection. You've made it so that the relationship is all about your performance and not about a mutual exchange of energy. The hidden pattern is that your generosity might actually be a shield. If you're always the giver, you never have to be vulnerable receiver. Receiving requires us to admit we have needs, and admitting we have needs feels dangerous when we don't believe we're worthy of having them met. So we keep giving to stay in control. We stay in the power position of being the benefactor, so we never have to feel the potential pain of asking for help and being told no. But you cannot be truly loved if you are never truly known. And you cannot be known if you never show your empty hands. To break this cycle, you have to be willing to stop giving for a moment and see what happens in the silence. It's terrifying, but it's the only way to see who is actually standing there with you. When you stop doing, you finally get to see who is actually being with you. The shift happens when you stop chasing validation externally and start building it internally. When you realize that love isn't something you earn through sacrifice, it's something you allow through standards. The moment you begin to value your time, your energy, and your presence, everything changes. Your behavior shifts. Your boundaries become clear. And suddenly, the same people who overlooked you start seeing you differently, or they naturally fall away. And that falling away is a gift. It clears the space for people who are actually capable of matching your depth. Stay with. Because the reason you keep feeling unloved is the exact pattern that's silently pushing people away. Real attraction doesn't come from overgiving. It comes from self-respect. It comes from emotional stability. From knowing you are already enough without needing to prove it. When you move through the world with the underlying assumption that you are valuable, you stop settling for crumbs. You stop interpreting someone's basic politeness as a sign that you should give them your whole heart. You start to move slower. You observe more. You allow people the space to pursue you, to care for you, and to earn a place in your life. This isn't about playing games. It's about emotional integrity. It's about being so grounded in your own self-respect that you simply don't have the appetite for one-sided dynamics anymore. You are not a service station for other people's needs. You are a destination. When you treat yourself like a luxury, the world treats you like one too. So the real question is, are you trying to be loved? Or are you ready to become someone who naturally receives it? Are you ready to put down the weight of everyone else's expectations and finally pick up your own worth? The path to being loved by others starts with the refusal to be abandoned by yourself. If this hit you, if you felt this in your chest, type "I choose myself" in the comments. Let this be the moment the pattern ends.